Welcome to the channel. I'm Hayes. I'll talk movies all day. Sometimes I'll talk about games, so subscribe right now if you want to be entertained. And today I want to talk about Genesis Noir by Feral Cat Den. And I'm going to start off by saying, if somebody told me that developers were on drugs when they made this, I'd believe them. I'm not saying they were, I'm just saying, if somebody told me that they went to a party, got high, had a conversation about Star Wars fan theories with a complete stranger, and then went to the studio and made this game, I'd believe them. Now the word Genesis means origin or beginning of something, and the word noir, aside from being a film genre, is French for black. So I guess it's only fitting that the first time I show my face on this channel it's about a game called Beginning Black. So yeah, this is technically a face reveal video. Now some of you might be disappointed. To you I say, close your eyes. Some of you might be excited. To you I say, sup. Anyway, Genesis Noir is a game that I describe as a puzzling game. Now let me be clear, I'm not saying it's a puzzle game, although it is. I'm saying the game itself is puzzling. It starts off with some text about not knowing what happened before the Big Bang and how the world emerges from an unknowable haze. And it presents these texts about black holes, a big bang, space and time philosophies at the beginning of each level, and that's all well and good, but the link between the text and the game seems thin. Now I know you can find videos saying that the characters in the game are metaphorical representations of the creation of the universe, and yeah, that's probably true, but my guess is most people who play through it won't get that, and even if they do, it just doesn't matter. The story in the game is largely unexplained by the game itself. So you go from level to level with little to no clue as to what exactly is happening or what you're supposed to be doing. You have to figure out a lot by yourself. And honestly, that is the best thing about this game. That it doesn't just tell you everything, it allows you to figure things out for yourself and input your own imagination into what is happening. This is a game. You play as a street merchant selling watches, probably stolen watches. Let's call him Raincoat. Now Raincoat tries to sell a watch to one guy, but instead of getting money, the guy gives him underwear and then runs away. So Raincoat chases him, but Raincoat is a clumsy git, trips over and the guy gets away. Now it just so happens that he tripped over next to this lady's apartment where he spies on her through the window before running home to the clock tower that he lives in. Anyway, it turns out that the lady is a singer called Miss Mass and her and Raincoat have a relationship. But something bad must have happened because Raincoat had already thrown her number in the bin. The main game starts when you get her number out the trash and call her, just as she is apparently having a domestic dispute. Raincoat runs over to her apartment and when he gets there, he sees her boyfriend with a gun. Her boyfriend fires the gun and kills Miss Mass. But Raincoat then uses time travel magic to go back to right when the gun went off, or the Big Bang, and then uses time and relative dimensions and space to solve puzzles in an attempt to save Miss Mass. Along the way you find out that Raincoat was Miss Mass's sighting, and I guess her boyfriend must have found out and that's what pissed him off. It's the O.J. Simpson story. Pretty much. Oh, and by the way, I've seen people refer to Raincoat as a detective. No, let's be clear on something. He is a shady criminal that got involved with a woman he should have never got involved with. Ain't nobody innocent in this game. But I do have a question. If Raincoat can go back in time, then why not go back to before the boyfriend even fired the gun and then tackle him to the ground? Or better yet, go back to before he met Miss Mass and then avoid that. The truth is, I actually enjoyed most of this game. The puzzles range from super obvious to, oh, I'ma have to think about this one. And that all creates this intriguing experience that you just don't see very often. But with that said, I don't think I could recommend this game in good conscience. Although it does a lot right, the things it does wrong are major. The fact that it gives little to no clues and you gotta figure out everything for yourself is both the best thing about this game and the worst thing about this game. There are several bugs that come up, so a lot of the time you won't know if it's a really tough puzzle or if the game just isn't working. And because there's no mid-level saving, if you have to restart the game or restart your machine, then you gotta do the whole level again, and some of those levels are long. The amount of times that A button didn't work when trying to advance through text, I had to unplug and replug my controller. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm pressing the A button and nothing's happening. Let me hold this up here so you can see I'm pressing this button and literally nothing is happening. It's done this before. Seems the only way to fix it is to unplug the controller. I'm using a wired controller, by the way, so unplug the controller, plug it back in, A, continue, and there we go. Now it works. but the worst transgression was during the collision level. There's a part that comes up where you gotta tune these knobs and sliders to get the right frequency. It starts off giving you a few clues on the board as to how to tune each machine. Each time you get it right, it adds another machine with more knobs and sliders and less clues. By the time you get to the last couple of machines, if indeed you make it that far, it's a complete guess. And if you're thinking, well, I'll just check an online guide. Yeah, you could do that, but it may or may not be helpful. Because when I got to the point where I had given up, decided to check how it's done, and copied what they did into my game, it didn't work. So I don't know, maybe it's different for different games, maybe it's randomly generated, or maybe it's just another glitch. Whatever it is, there is a possibility that you could be stuck there for all eternity. So in conclusion, if you have Xbox Game Pass and don't mind playing a really cool looking but super frustrating game that you might have to pretend you understand, then sure. But if you have to pay for this, I reckon you're probably better off buying 2001: A Space Odyssey on DVD. It's still probably confusing, but doesn't take anywhere near as long to get through, way less glitches, and just a brilliant film that you should watch. So yeah, and that's what I think of Genesis Noir. What do you think of Genesis Noir? Let me know down below, and while you're there, be sure to like, subscribe, and drop a suggestion if you don't mind.